Looking forward to it. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your group. It's always beautiful to enter the land of adventures because I have no problem being humble. I'm so humble around you, around adventures, around other board members, certainly Seth and Bob, all the people at the home office. It's really amazing. It's really quite a thrill, actually. First of all, I want to echo Gary's remarks and thank Teresa from the bottom of our hearts on taking God's vision and actually taking action and implementing it and seeing the fruits of this first, what I would call a reunion. So thank you, Teresa. God bless you. And also Becky, who has so joyfully and with such grace and such beauty given herself into orchestrating so many things here, setting this venue, opening her home, sleeping on couches instead of her own bed, all these things to be able to make it possible for everyone to be so comfortable. Thank you very much, Becky. Let's give them a hand. I will just say a few things, and then if there's any questions that you'd like me to address from a board perspective, finishing up here, I'll be glad to field a few questions. You can catch me in the halls. I'll be around all day, so I want to catch the breakout sessions and do that. It's kind of funny, last night I got here after the flight and picked up the car and came zooming over here and missed dinner. Don't need that too much. And so I get sent right to Dawson's class, and he's about halfway in the middle of it, and he gets towards the end and he's talking about, you know, going from a child to an adult in a mature, faith-like fashion. And the first thing that grabbed me was, oh, Lord, please don't let that beautiful young man lose his childlike faith. Please don't let him mature and start thinking this thing out and becoming Superman in the maturity. Let him be a childlike faith, because children are all in. There's no such word as no, right? And going all in is all there is. So please, Dawson, please hang on to that childlike faith. Then he finishes up by kind of bringing up a kind of a frictional spot in my life, which is marriage. So he's asking for advice on marriage. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, here's Nancy and me. We've been, kind of stumbling forward to controlled ignorance all these years, and it was just something that I thought, oh, do I have a tidbit? So all the people in the room were saying, yeah, you had to do this, yeah, you had to do that. And I kept thinking, wow, I wish I would have known that. I wish I would have known that. And so at the end, I thought, well, how can I put it? Let's see. I think that we've either been married 1 year 49 times, or we've been married 49 years. I'm not sure which, but it depends on the day, So anyway, my wife right now is up at our cabin in Rapid City, up in the Black Hills, and so we're apart quite a bit in the summer, and I do kind of commuting a little back and forth. But one of the great things I miss is what Gary was talking about, is being able to physically pray with her every morning. So if there's one thing I would offer as far as any advice on marriage, is pray with your wife, no matter, especially when you don't want to. Really, when you don't want to, that's the time you really need to do it. So pray with your wife every morning and get that fresh glow going and have a wonderful day over it. The World Race America is extremely important to adventures, and it fills a void that's really been in adventures for many, many years. And I can't tell you how important it is to adventures that this mission be fulfilled to its absolute maximum that God has in mind for it. And I thank you for your attendance here, because you are really the people that God has ordained to be here at this very moment in time. And you're like the super catalyst that all of a sudden take the charge to go on and move on out, make wonderful and fantastic and awesome things happen because of you being here. And God brought you here for a purpose, both a parent as well as a racer. And thank you so much for your commitment to this very challenging but very, very important ministry. So So thank you, and I really appreciate what you're doing there. Let me open it up to a few questions. Anybody have any questions from the board perspective? What's going on? Anything? Anybody want to know? No hands? Who'll be the first? Tracy, you want to know if you have a job left?
Yeah.
You got a job. You're great. Seriously, don't be bashful. Any questions out there that I might be able to address? Go ahead.
What's the plan for next year with Board Race America?
That you'll have to ask Teresa. She's empowered by the Holy Spirit under God's direction. She tells us all we do is we come in behind her and support her. And we believe that God is certainly God is, and the power of the Holy Spirit is truly bringing upon the leadership and the board of Adventures in thinking through plans and that. But God does control our steps, and Teresa in particular is so in tune, along with the initial squad and the additional squads now, to be able to fulfill this, that really we want them to be under that power, and we want to support that more than try to be on top of it and try to lead that train. So, first of all, it was an excellent question. Thank you very much. I hope the answer was sufficient for you, even though I didn't tell you what's happening next year. And if I knew, I wouldn't tell you anyway, but probably let the rabbit out of the hat or cat out of the bag, or whatever you want to call it, but we don't want to do that, right? Another question, please. Yes, sir.
I can elaborate a little bit on next year for Board Race America. The teams are going to be sharing the gospel a lot around America. Our goal is to disciple and evangelize America. And so we're hoping for 40 people on the squad next year. We'll be breaking them up into teams. And then we'll be going to about, I think, 30 plus states next year. So the teams will be kind of traveling in the same direction, but they'll be going to different ministry coaches, a lot like the World Race. And our goal is to really be intentional about sharing the gospel in every place that we go. And then we'll be partnering with hosts. Some of you might be hosts, but we'll be partnering with alumni again. We'll be partnering with their parents and churches and different things to do, come alongside of them to serve in ministries that they're involved in. But we're going to be really pushing, getting out and really sharing the gospel as well. So hopefully we'll have about 4 awakenings for next year, and so we're going to try to plan those out. The encounters or awakenings, we'll plan stuff like this in 4 or 5 different areas throughout the states. But we'll be traveling from, I guess, east to west next year, and then coming back around America. But we'll be hitting most of the states, so that's a little bit about what we'll be.
And we're also going up into New England. We didn't go up there last year, and so we strategically are going up there first and all up in the New England states and then down. Another thing we're doing next year is adding first-year racers. And we're making it like a discipleship training school also, a mobile discipleship training school. So on the back end of the debriefs, we're going to have discipleship training too. So it's going to be a little bit different next year. But all these ones, if all of World Race America that's in here could just stand up. These are the forerunners. These are the trailblazers. Stuck with it and gone through all the transition of it. So these really are the ones who started it off and have continued to sustain it. And then Jess, I always honor her. She was the very first person to sign up for World Race America. And for a long time she would say, well, is anyone else signed up yet? I'm like, nope, but we're believing for 12, And now we have 14 because God always gives. So you just give your lunch and then he does the miracle. He brings the people and then even leftovers. They're not leftovers, you know what I mean? Like we get more than we asked for. Multiplication.
As beautiful as the original team is, after I left the first meeting with them, I thought, wow, as beautiful as they are, this is our ragtag team of absolute go-get-ems, and they're going to they're gonna ruffle feathers, they're gonna make things happen, they're gonna stir it up, and God's gonna be in there all the time with them. So, you're a ragtag army. Well, beautiful. Congratulations. Any other questions or any other comments? Thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate that very much. Any other questions you might have about anything going on with ministry, from the board standpoint, or from the head? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just curious where you're at in the process with the home for individuals with developmental disabilities that y'all.
I'm not hearing you very well.
Curious about where you're at in the process for the home for persons with disabilities that y'all been working on.
Yes, the question is regarding Flourish Ministries. Seth Barnes Jr. has willingly and gratefully taken that task on to be able to be the executive director for that program. There have been, let me kind of ratchet back a little bit, we had a lot of zoning confrontations and issues to wade through. There was a show of force at the Hall County Planning Commissions where it was orchestrated to have almost 300 people in support of Flourish, and there were about 10 people opposed to it. So we won a unanimous vote from the Hall County Commission to have adventures after it actually had been turned down by the Planning Committee and was recommended to the Commission not to even have it. People in the neighborhood have come to accept it more and more all the time, so all systems are go there. There are many, many, many aspects of Flourish that are being implemented from the standpoint of capital being raised to build the first units, and also we have discovered different types of government grants and funding for individual parents who have a child with disabilities, not for the ministry itself. We wanted to put that to